Chainlink is far and away the most important player in a crucial crypto sector, which is oracles. It's a $10 billion space within cryptocurrency, of which Chainlink actually makes up the majority in terms of value. And any crypto analyst, even actually those outside of cryptocurrency, will pretty much agree that oracles are going to continue to play a vital role in the years ahead. Their importance is only going to increase, especially, by the way, as the RWA narrative grows itself, that is real-world assets. I love Chainlink personally. I like to talk about it a lot, but it's important to have a broader perspective of this space as well. So we'll be discussing a little bit of Chainlink today, but we're also going to take a look and shine the spotlight on three of its most promising and important competitors in the Oracle space. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest, whether that's into oracles or any other altcoins. I hope you do very well. Just remember that I'm not a financial or investment advisor and that this video is not official financial or investment advice. First up on our list here, we have PYTH, ticker PYTH. It is the second biggest oracle after Chainlink, and as you can see, it's got a pretty impressive market cap, over $1 billion, even after the recent crypto and altcoin carnage that we've seen in the last week. PYTH is an oracle that runs on Solana. That's something to be noted here. This is one of the key benefits, actually, as more new coins are launching on Sol than any other network. And that represents a big edge here competitively. While Solana is not known as a big RWA chain yet, at least not necessarily, it is becoming the home of retail crypto. And look, retail will definitely invest in RWA. And when they choose to do so on Solana, many of the RWA platforms are going to be using PYTH. Something else that we like here is that all of PYTH's data feeds are direct. By contrast, some of Chainlink's feeds are third-party or indirect as far as the source goes. That means that slower update times can be expected and a greater potential for errors, things like price discrepancy, for example. And PYTH has actually made a couple of impressive moves recently, for example, including availability on Coinbase Prime. Coinbase Prime is the institutional, non-custodial platform that Coinbase runs for firms like the ETFs. And now they can use it to buy PYTH's PYTH token. As with other projects in crypto, PYTH has had a rough few days, but it's recovered better than most from Black Monday. From Friday to Monday, actually, PYTH dropped from about 28 cents to 22 cents, which represents about a 25% drop. That is painful, but as I said, it's actually far better than a lot of others performed. And as you can see, as I record, we're back up here to 28 cents. And that's reassuring to see. It's a sign of good health for the project and really positive sentiment for it that's greater than the sentiment of the overall market, at least as I record right now. The market seems to like PYTH, as do we, and that's for a variety of reasons, but there's a lot of potential here. It's a good thing for Coinbase to have competition in the space, and like I said, the direct data feeds are one example, but there are a lot of things that PYTH Network is doing, actually, if I'm going to be candid, a little bit better than Chainlink. Next up here, and at number 2, we're looking at API 3, which is both an oracle and an automation platform. Since APIs are how software programs talk to each other, API 3's advanced APIs let you automate many blockchain and smart contract related tasks. API 3's data feeds are more decentralized than Chainlink's, which is one major advantage. They're also more private because API 3 uses random number generation to keep your info private as the requester of the data. So imagine you don't want to just say that your blockchain game, for example, is fair. You want to prove it. Random number generation is one way to do so. A casino game, for example, like roulette or blackjack, can thus become truly random, which users like. I would actually argue that's essential from the perspective of the users. You have to be provably fair. If I were a user, I would insist on that, so should you. And casino games are one example, but you can think also of the financial arena, where you can't research to see what your competitors' data requests are from certain financial market feeds. And yeah, you might like the idea of being able to see what they like and what to invest in, but the reality is, if you can see their information, then they can also see yours. And so with random number generators, your decentralized feed searches are private. No one can see what you're looking up and from where. API 3 spent last weekend dropping from a high of about $1.80 all the way down to about $1.16 with that negative market tumble that pretty much every project saw. That's better than some did during that Black Monday catastrophe. Yes, they've gained a lot of it back. As you can see, we're sitting at $1.36 right now as I record, with a market cap of $158 million. So this is still a very nimble project, another quality project, which is seeing volatile prices really due to the market conditions, but through no fault of its own, because nothing has changed here as far as API 3 goes. Fundamentally, it's doing everything right, actually, and remains very impressive. And last but not least for today is a project that we've not talked about actually in a little while, and that is BAN Protocol. One difference here right off the bat is that BAN supports Cosmos IBC chains. That's something that most other oracles do not yet support. And BAN is actually focusing away from DeFi to things like sports, politics, weather, and other fact-based areas that interact with blockchains. So that means the big potential here is prediction markets. Now, we've seen Polymarket crush it out of nowhere when it comes to political bets, from everything like the US presidential race to smaller elections. And, maybe the sector can continue to grow past November with Polymarket in the current lead. If that's the case, they're going to need BAN's decentralized oracles for all types of weird and odd events. It becomes very obscure, admittedly, but the fact is, and as the numbers show, there is a market for that because people do want to place their bets on some of these obscure events. And why not? Multi-chain platforms can use BAN easily too. Chainlink is almost exclusively EVM, for example, but if you have EVM chains and Cosmos or COSM-WASM chains, you can access every chain or protocol in the top two VMs. And BAN, B-A-N-D, unlike the other oracles that we've studied here, has not really had a good year. If we look at the last 12 months, it's actually down slightly, not terribly, but it is down over the last 12 months. Which is not great, but if we take a look at the last week, we can see that it wasn't hugely affected by the Black Monday event. That's kind of what I'm calling it colloquially. I don't know if you guys have a better suggestion. Black Monday in the crypto space and beyond other markets as well, of course. It went from about $1.12 down to 91 cents. It's recouped most of that loss, as you can see, sitting at $1.07 as I record, slightly up on the day. But you'll also notice that this is the lowest value oracle of the three by market value, just slightly actually. It's only slightly behind API 3, but the market cap also sits at a very attractive $155 million, which just means that it's, let's say, more susceptible to price swings, to upward trajectory, and to movement in a positive direction if people all of a sudden develop a lot of collective enthusiasm. $155 million moves a lot faster than a much larger market cap, of course, in the billions or tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars. One detractor here from the project, though, and something you should note, is that while the total supply is currently 149 million BAND, its potential maximum supply is infinite. Make sure you understand those risks before you invest. Maybe you're okay with that, but maybe it's a deal breaker for you. Just be aware of it. Better to be informed about those kinds of things, and you can make the decision for yourself.